Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson. Have you noticed your credit card bill is costing you more, even though you might have it locked up in the freezer? Here to talk to us about it is Amanda Webster. She's the COO of Fund and Grow. Hey, Amanda, welcome back.
Hey, Andrea, thank you for having me.
So what's the deal with the current rising credit card interest rates? It seems like they're costing us more, even if sometimes we're not using them.
There's a lot of things that go into it, but main thing you got to look at is the Fed rates, right? So their regulatory things that they're doing directly impact the cost of your debt in credit card world. So if you look at your terms, it always says like prime plus this many points. And so it's directly impacting that. But also the higher the interest rates on the Fed side, the higher the cost is to the actual lender, and they're always going to pass that on to the consumer.
And what should consumers understand about this connection when it comes to all those different rates?
You need to be looking at it, right? So your cost of what you're spending on your credit card, if you're not able to pay it off every month, is going to go up and down based on that Fed rate. So when it goes down, obviously you're going to pay less, but it has been notoriously high for so long now that those rates just haven't moved. And we have been paying a lot more for that debt. So paying attention to that because it's going to hit you in your wallet directly, or it's going to make those long-term projections on how long to pay off that debt even longer.
I know everybody always, the financial experts, including yourself, probably suggest that we pay off that credit card debt every month. I mean, it's easier than it sounds. Most people are probably struggling, especially this time of year. With the average credit card interest rate exceeding 21%, how are households managing their debt?
I have seen a huge uptick in the debt consolidation world in those programs, trying to get a hold of it because the average consumer just came out this week was like 10 grand was the average that people are
Oof.
holding on credit card debt, which 10 grand, that's going to take you 30 years to pay off if
Oh,
you're only paying the minimum
yeah.
payment. So we're seeing a huge uptick in that. I also expect to see an uptick in bankruptcy filings.
There's been a lot of talk with the new administration going in about capping credit card fees and even to some extent some interest rates. What are your thoughts?
So I think temporarily that could be okay, and it would be a good thing for the consumer. I think anything that's capping is going to be a good thing for the consumer on the front side. The problem is these are all businesses, these are banks that are trying to make money.
Right.
So if it's a long-term cap, you're going to see them try to find ways to charge or limit the ability to get funding if that tends to stay on long term.
You mentioned credit card delinquencies. They've reached a 12-year high. How could rising interest rates really affect those changes in the law going forward?
I think you're just going to see the delinquencies continuing, at least for the first quarter. I hope that the administration can get some things in place to help the consumers, but it's always a balancing act because the more you help the consumer, the more the fees are to the lender, which are then just going to come into a full circle. But again, that's why I think you're going to see debt consolidation programs and bankruptcies have some highs, maybe even reaching close to the ones we had in like 2009, 2010, just to get the consumers back on track with the economy we've dealt with since COVID, basically.
Amanda Webster, always great to chat with you. Some very important information as we get the new year started with hopefully some new financial goals. For more information on how to earn and use business credit, go to fundandgrow.com.